to, but it's nice right now, so we'll go with that for now, right? So welcome back, guys. Wearing red as always. Remembering everyone deployed. So a shout out to all our active servicemen and women who are out there. Thank you for what you do. All right. So today's topic, foreclosures. All right. Foreclosures, and specifically, of course, how they affect your VA loan. Okay. So again, we're assuming that back in the day you had a house, you got foreclosed on, and how that affects you into getting a new loan and so forth. Okay. So we're going to cover a few different areas. Okay. How could this affect you? Let's start with the basic and obvious one. It's going to affect your credit. It's not a good thing to have a foreclosure. So it is going to affect your credit. It's probably going to lower your credit score, and this in turn will affect how it goes for when you're applying for a loan. So just keep that in mind. Again, the VA has no minimum credit score requirement. Neither do we. So even if your score drops to 400, chances are we could probably still work with that. Okay. I haven't closed a 400 credit score, but I have closed for a 490. I've got a peer here who got closed one at 460. So we mean it. We're not trying to break that record though, but we can work with any credit score. All right. Number two. Let's go here. Waiting period. Okay. So when you've had a foreclosure, it's not a good sign to a lending company, because they think, if you're looking for a new loan, they're going to say, well, what happened with the last loan? So they are going to look at that. So there are waiting periods before you get a new loan after you've been foreclosed on. So what does that mean? For example, if the general rule out there is that you have to wait 2 years after you've been foreclosed before you can get a new home loan. So that is Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac requirements, guidelines. You got to wait 2 years. After that, you should be okay. The VA has a very similar rule. Same thing, 2 years, we can ignore foreclosure. Okay? It may still have an impact on your credit score, but hey, we can proceed, we can do a loan. But the VA has a few exceptions though. They do say you can get a loan if it's been within 1 to 2 years, as long as it meets certain requirements. Okay? So it's got to check off certain boxes. I'm not going to say them all because it's really a case-by-case basis, but generally the foreclosure needed to have been caused by extenuating circumstances like unemployment, death, things like that. Okay? And you do need to have shown that you've reestablished your credit, meaning you've got at least about a year showing that you've been good on your payments, good on your rent, good on your credit card bills and so forth. Because if you've had a foreclosure and you've got recent lates, it's not a good sign. So if you're within the 2-year window, you want to at least make sure you're checking off those boxes. So in other words, with a VA loan, you don't have to wait the 2 years, but more than likely, it's going to be at least a year after a foreclosure before you can attempt to get a home loan. If it's less than that, I haven't seen one get done. I believe the VA handbook says you can't do it. All right. And number 3. Entitlement. Okay, so entitlement is what the VA allows you, what you're entitled to get a loan for. Okay, so remember that when you do a VA loan, the VA guarantees a portion of your loan. That is why a lender is willing to give you a better interest rate than they would for a different type of loan, or that they have these looser guidelines. That's why we can work with a lower credit score and things like that. It's because, well, the VA is going to cut a check. So if you get a VA loan and you default and get foreclosed on and you lose the property, the VA cuts a check to the lender. So we're sort of protected. So we're willing to take a riskier loan. Well, that's when you've got it. So you've got an entitlement amount. Now, if you've been foreclosed on in the past, it's possible that not all your entitlement has been restored, because if there was a loss on it and the VA had to cut a check, then you may still owe that entitlement. Now the VA isn't asking you for the money, though a way to restore it is to pay them back. But that may mean that in the future, your loans may not be, you may not get a loan for the full entitlement. It may be a reduced amount. So whereas you were able to qualify for a pretty good sized loan amount before, now because that entitlement hasn't been restored, you may be limited to the VA loan you can get. Doesn't mean you can't afford the house. Doesn't mean that you can't get that X amount for a purchase price. Just means that the loan amount won't be the amount you want. You may not get 100% financing. So you may have to bring in some cash. Okay, so those are a few areas on how the foreclosure may affect you. Good thing is with VA, less of an issue, but it's still something to be factored in. There may be a waiting period. It's not an end-all be-all, but it is something that you do have to take into consideration as you're planning, and that's why you want to have a VA mortgage expert who knows how to get you through all that. All right? Do we have any questions?
Blake Law says, let's go, Maurice.
All right. Yeah, let's go. We got this. So we're excited to help you. Please don't let these questions deter you from jumping into it. Talk to a loan officer. Give us a call. Send us an email. Go online and chat with us. We're more than happy to help answer those questions, and we'll guide you through the process. All right? Again, have a safe and enjoyable weekend, guys. Until next time.